And welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to take you guys along with me as I am doing some book stuff. I have some just housekeeping stuff that I have to do, especially after that long hiatus from reading. So I thought it might be kind of nice if we did those things together. So in this video, I am going to be catching up on my book journal since I haven't touched it in 2 months. I will say I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot to be done. There's not going to be full page spreads for the month because I wasn't reading, but I do like to keep a book journal, so I just need to update it with June, July, and at this point I could probably do August as well, no problem. And then we need to also update my, oh Lord. We also need to update my TBR jar, kind of do an edit slash refill. I've come to the realization that there are some prompts in there that just don't work for me. And also if I take those out, I have to add some back in and just that kind of thing. So we're going to do a TBR jar refresh. I'm also going to update my book series tracker. And last but not least, I have some special editions to unbox with you guys, which I'm very excited about. It's my August fairyloot box. And then I have two pre-orders for special editions that have finally arrived, which I'm very, very happy about. You will see why momentarily. But with that being said, I think the first thing I'm going to start with is honestly the book journal, because it's the thing I'm least excited about. It's kind of like a point of shame that I let it go for so long. But if I put it in the video, I will be accountable to catch up and then keep it updated moving forward. So I will see you guys probably when I'm done doing my book journal update, just because I think that a speed run with no voiceover will probably work better. So next time I talk to you, I will be doing something other than the journal, but the next thing you will see is a journal, if I'm making any sense. So I will see you in a little bit. So no doing book stuff video is complete without some kind of haul, unboxing, whatever, in my opinion. So as I said in the intro, I have been saving these to open with you guys because I thought you guys might find it fun. And these have some very, very exciting releases for me, which is perfect because then I can, put them on my TBR shelf and they will be in the game when it comes time for my September TBR. So without further ado, like I said, I have my August box. I think this is my August box. Yeah, it should be. I don't know why I'm lost in front. And then this and this are special editions that you had to order outside of that. So I am super duper excited. I won't lie, I have seen a couple spoilers, but that's okay. I will say I do have some concerns about whether or not the books will be damaged, considering it looks like a chunk has been taken out. But, we shall see. So got my handy box cutter. And let's see. So the spoiler card is for See You in Hell. And okay, I'm so grateful. The adult book was on top. So if there's any damage, it will be done to the YA book, which I am so excited about this. It is Catabasis or Catabasis, or I still haven't looked up how to pronounce it correctly, but it's R.F. Kuang's new release that everybody has been I think very excited for. And also I'm trying to tell if that's like, it almost looks, I don't know if you guys can see that, it almost looks kind of like spotty on the back, but I can't tell if it's like dirty, but I can't tell if that's intentional or not. But like everybody, like every book box subscription service did a special edition of this book. And I was kind of anxious because I was like, I'm going to hold out for the fairyloot one. We're going to see if I like it. And in fact, this has been my favorite version of it to come out so far. So this is the cover. It's got gold foiling on it. And on the back, it says, Alice Law, you naughty girl, you're trying to go to hell. And then, okay, so I think it might be intentional because it looks a little dirty on the inside too. So maybe that's just kind of a function. But I'll look at the end papers. Oh, these are so cool. See, this is why I love doing like special edition book unboxings, because the books all have really cool features. And then, oh, this is really cool too. They did like silver foiling for like the precipitation on the inside. That's really cool. And then what's this the reverse dust jacket look like? Okay, so it's more artwork. So that is pretty cool as well. And then this, honestly, is so cool. So they did, you know, the naked hardcover. It's like got a linen-y texture. And it's got gold foiling. And I think this might be my favorite naked hardback spine they've ever done. But they have like the library on the inside and then the sprayed edges. Oh, this is so cool. So if you're unfamiliar with the premise, my understanding is that this grad student accidentally condemns a professor to hell, and she needs his recommendation, and so she's got to undo her loops. And she and a academic rival travel down to hell to try and fix that. So super excited to get this book and happy to see it is undamaged, because like I said, when the box arrived, I was so anxious. So I'm going to put this back in the bag for now because the cats are out and about, and it wouldn't shock me if someone decided to just like walk over my special new books. And then this is the young adult book, which I find it kind of interesting that for the spoiler card, Bean's very interested in the paper. So if you hear that in the background, the cat. I find it interesting that there's no like words on this one, but this is the YA book, and it's Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. And I really don't know anything about this book. Sometimes I'm like highly invested in what fairyloot sends, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, well, we'll see when it arrives. And this was kind of, oh, we'll see when it arrives. But from what I can tell so far, you know, as much as I would love to entertain him, excuse me, for the sake of this clip not being 5 years long and for you guys being able to hear me while I talk, I'm gonna put that away for now. He can have it later. I guarantee I'm gonna put this box down. He's gonna start using his scratching post right away. All right, anyway, back to, yeah, so this, oh, that's so cool. That's so detailed. It almost kind of reminds me of like Hogwarts Castle. Is that just me? And then, oh, those are kind of cool sprayed edges. It almost looks like smudgy. Like, you know, at night when it's raining and like the headlights get all like weird and smudgy, I feel like that's kind of almost what that looks like. This is very goth, it feels like. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of the naked hardcover. I don't know if you guys, I'm probably doing a terrible job of showing you. And then the dust jacket, the reverse dust jacket, just looks like a different colorway of the original cover, I suspect. But the back says, you are the reapers of lost souls, the bright light guiding them to their eternal slumber, and without you, the afterlife would fall into oblivion. So, like I said, I have absolutely zero context for what this book is about, but I am, very excited to own yet another very pretty book. And now Bean is trying to get into the bag that the book came in. He loves unboxings. He loves them. He gets all sorts of fun goodies out of it. I just kind of wish he would wait. He would curb his enthusiasm until I'm done, but that's not the way of the cat. So, all right. Next book I think this is A Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim. Elizabeth Lim is one of my favorite authors at the moment. I've loved everything she's put out. Well, like, everything's been a solid. Her Six Crimson Cranes duology and then the prequel to that duology, I gave, like, I think it was solidly 4 stars. And then her Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk are 2 of my, like, favorites. Those were 5-star reads. So I think this is her new release. And am I correct? I am correct. Yay. And I'm super excited about this, especially because I did not like the US cover. Like, that's just not my favorite kind of art style. I'll like pop it up right here so you can see it, but that's just not my preferred art style, or at least like it with the black and then blue and all that stuff. It seemed like very dark. So it just, when I saw that Fairyloot was doing a special edition, I decided to buy it because I liked the artwork better. So here we are. Oh, this is so cool. It's got like mermaid underwater vibes. Okay, so there's coral and fish on the sprayed edges, and it looks like the blue is the same as like the solid blue on the bottom. And then there's this beautiful artwork on the front with the castle and everything. And then on the back, mermaids, turtles, all that cool stuff. And then, see, this is what I was here for. As much as I enjoyed the dust jacket, I saw the naked hardcover, which is amazing. And I also really, really, really loved the beautiful end papers. So there's one set of end papers and there's the backside. Yes. I love it when they do 2 separate ones. Look at how beautiful, beautiful. And then there is no reverse. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Honestly, I might display this book exactly like this because it is just so gorgeous. I have to say, like, confession, I did not do my research into what this was about either. I just auto-bought because I love everything Elizabeth Lim has put out, like I said. So excuse me for not being able to tell you what it's about, but I'm sure that when I eventually read it in a vlog, you guys will get more about like the premise and that kind of thing. There is that. And then, you guys, I am so excited for this last box. As much as I have been very excited and looking forward to these 3 books, this box is my crowning achievement, my prize jewel. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you have to understand, I did not have a Fairyloot subscription when they initially did the first book. And I'd also like hesitated about it because I loved the cover art, but I was like, they did the new paperbacks in the same cover, just like a different color way. And so I was like, oh, I don't really need it. And then I was like, well, actually, I kind of want the book in hardcover, and the new covers didn't come out in hardcover. And then I was like heartbroken because I didn't buy it and I didn't have access to buy it. And then they announced that they were doing a rerun of the first book and they were doing the second and the third book. I'm sure that at this point, if you are like keeping up with Fairyloot announcements, you know what series I'm talking about. But I love this series. Like, this series, you know, they made them into, at least the first book, into a motion picture, like, or an animated motion picture. This is everything. So, get into it. But I have been salivating over these books arriving, and I have no shame about it. Okay, here is some paper for... Oh, that's not far enough away. The mic's going to keep picking it up if he plays with that. Okay, hopefully that's far enough away. But if you guessed Howl's Moving Castle, you are correct. Like I said, I initially decided against it because they were doing paperbacks with like this new cover. And then they didn't do hardbacks. And I was so heartbroken. And then they announced that they were doing all 3 books. Yes. So, Howl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones. And, you know, honestly, the book is like, the book and the movie have 2 separate plots. Like, you know, they overlap somewhat, but not crazy, I think. but I still love the books. I love both. I just don't feel that like the stories are, identical. In some ways, I feel like they're like a very big departure. Like Calcifer, I feel like movie Calcifer and book Calcifer are like two entirely different characters. But that's just me personally. But like I said, love these new covers. And then the reverse dust jacket, I'm meh about, to be honest, which is one of the reasons I originally passed up on it. And I'm also not a pink girly, so this was like quite a lot for me. But the whole package, I could not say no to. I used my adult self-control once and then failed when I was tempted a second time. Look at, it's got like illustrations of Calcifer, like right there on the dust jacket. I'm curious. So in Kiki's delivery service, they did like illustrations. And I'm wondering if they did illustrations or just chapter headers. Okay, it looks like they just did chapter headers, but still really, really, really cool. I'm super excited to put these on my shelves. I might have to figure out a way to display them. I'm like, shelf space in my like office, library room, spare room, whatever you want to call the second bedroom in my apartment is very limited. So I don't know if I have space to display these, but if I do, I'm going to. Okay, so this is House of Many Ways. And once again, they did like the sprayed edges where like the art is really focused at the bottom. And like, this is just so cute. Like, look, I don't know if those are hydrangeas or snowball bushes or whatever, but those are so pretty. And if you look in the back, you can like see the little critters. And let's see what. Okay, so they did pink for this one as well, but instead of doing like the blue foil, they did white. And then her signature is on the back again. Her signature was on the back of that one as well. I actually very much enjoy this reverse dust jacket. I just love like almost like the sunset colored theming, like that feels like sunset. This feels like blue hour. And then like this next one feels kind of like nighttime. So I kind of love that aspect. I don't know if that was intentional, but like that's how the graphic designer in me reads it. Okay. And then last one is Castle in the Air. And these are so beautiful, my friends. Oh, I'm so glad that I have adult money. Oh, look at this. It's kind of got like I don't know, is that like a bird or a gargoyle on the back? Oh. And then like I said, the usual with like the people on the bottom. And then, oh, it's blue. I almost wish it had still done like some variation of pink because these are two shades of pink, but still they did like the teal or like the turquoise with the same blue foil as they did the blue foil on Howl's Moving Castle. And then on the back, once again, we get her signature. Oh, look at the illustration on the inside flap. Oh, that is so cute. All right. So, those are all of the book unboxings that I have for you guys. But I just thought I would share that with you guys because I've been super excited about all of this. And I've been like waiting to open it on camera. And this time it's finally happened and now I can shelve them. And like I said, these bottom three will go on the TBR shelf and hopefully they will make it onto a September TBR. But I will catch up with you. I think the next thing I'm going to do is probably update my series tracker. All right, so I thought I would update my series tracker with you guys because it has been a hot minute since I have updated my series tracker and a lot has changed. A lot of new releases have come out. I've read some books. I've decided I'm not continuing some series. So I figured, why not update the series tracker together? I'm going to go ahead and pop it up on the screen now. But if you are kind of not familiar with how I do my series tracking, I do it in Notion. It is like a setup I created for myself. And it's kind of tracking book series that I'm interested in, own books for, but haven't started. I'm in progress. I'm caught up. I've finished. I've DNF'd, whatever. So it is quite extensive, and I imagine it will just grow the more and more I read. But like I said, I have not updated it in a hot minute, so I figured we could do that together. So without further ado, I am going to, right now we have 40 series in progress, 15 series caught up, 2 that I've decided to DNF, 43 series that I own at least a single book of that I have not started yet, and then 11 series that I'm interested in, which means I don't own a book, but I am curious about it and I will likely read it in the future. So I just kind of put it in there to get ahead of the curve there. And then I have completed 32 series, which is significantly better than I think it was at the beginning of the year. I will go ahead and throw these stats up for what all of this came out to when I did my, like, every single series I'm in the middle of video, like literally 6 months ago. So without further ado, let us get started. I'm going to move to like the bigger view just because I feel like then I can see everything. So the reason I have it in Notion and how I have it structured is it goes by series title, and then I do book titles, because that way I found that, like, if I don't do book titles, if I just do numbers, then sometimes I can't figure out like which title I'm supposed to be picking up next or something like that. So that's kind of why I chose to do it this way. Obviously, the author interested the progress bar, and then whether or not the series is complete, as in has the author finished writing all the books in the series, because obviously if they haven't, then the best I can get is caught up. So I have not done anything with Blood and Ash, DC Stars, Elements of Cadence. No. Okay, so it looks like we have had no changes in the interested column. So that means that we are now moving on to not started. I have not started Well Met, Beartown, Beyond the Play, Boys of Tommen, Dance of Thieves. Nope. This might be a faster update than I thought, but let's see. So far, nothing. Wow, this might be a very short segment in doing book stuff. Oh my goodness. Okay. Mm-hmm. Or I've already updated it recently and I didn't realize. A little more. Okay, so nothing was changed in the not started category, which tells me I have updated this somewhat recently, because I did start a bunch of series recently. Artifacts of Uranus, I haven't continued on. Carol, I haven't continued on. Let me make sure. Okay, the Oak and the Holly Cycle series. I've read the Ren and the Holly Library semi-recently. Okay, and that's currently as up to date as I can get it. Empire of the Wolf, Fate's Thread. Yep, because the God in the Grecian came out, so I can probably delete this comment at this point. Usually I comment with like the release date once there is one, so I know to like keep an eye out for it. Also, I was so mad that I could not get a special edition, like the fairyloot special edition of the God in the Grecian. I have the fairyloot special edition of the God in the Gumiho, and they did so few of the God in the Grecian that I did not get one, which I'm so salty about, but that's besides the point. Gold Rush Ranch, I'm still 2 for 4. Heartstopper, I'm still 2 for 6. That, I don't know if there are more than 6 at that point. No update on Hoops, House of the Dead, Iron Widow. I can delete this comment because King of, what are we at? Envy has come out, or King of Sloth. King of Envy, because I have read King of Sloth. The Legacy series, as we all know, I'm got mixed feelings about that series, but I will continue it. Oh, I can update this. So what I do, and like I said, this might not be a system for everybody because it's definitely more labor intensive to do it this way. But it's just my preference. And book 3 is no longer untitled. It's Brigands. Is that how you spell it? Brigands. I feel like that's how you spell it. And Bread Knives. And it's not out yet. So technically speaking, I am caught up. And I will stay caught up for like 2 months. And then I will go back to not caught up. But I will take my wins where I can. So I need to update caught up. And then, oh, right, because it changes the category. So that's still, it disappeared once I changed it. So it went from in progress to caught up. So let's scroll down. Here it is. Lesson learned. Next time, do that second instead of first. And currently the series is incomplete. So, all right, let's go back to in progress. Okay, so haven't made any progress on Magnolia Parks or Mead Mishaps or Mirror Visitor or Never After. I haven't made any progress on Rose Hill, but 9-9. Oh, so this is Wild Card's date. Okay, so I'm going to leave that comment for now just because this is for the 4th book in the series. Wow, I am so behind. The Green Moe Saga, haven't made any updates to that, or Inheritance Games, or Isles of Gods. Roots of Chaos. Okay, they did. I was going to say, did I update it for book 3 having a title? I did. Vancouver Storm. So this is now. I have not updated this. Okay, so we're gonna update it in the open view in the hopes that it doesn't like do the thing it did last time. So this is now 75% because I read 3 out of 4. And it's still in progress. Okay, so that's fair. So maybe I just didn't update the in progress bar. Although I think the series is complete at this point. Because I think Gloves Off was supposed to be the last one. I'm gonna have to look into that before I like change that, but I'm pretty sure we might be done. I should also delete this comment. And then I have finished the Windy City series, so let's just open the whole thing. So rewind it back. I have a red, so that can be green. And then progress 100%. I am done because she said that is the last book in this particular series. She's doing a spin-off series, which I'm very excited because Monty is getting a story in the spin-off series. I think we already met his love interest at one point. But this is a completed series for me. Yay! And that comment can be deleted and it's going to go bye-bye. A Bright Heart, a Fiery Spirit has come out, and I have unfortunately not read it. But it's in progress 50%. I do believe it's a duology, so the series should be complete after the 2nd book. Spoons is in progress and it's incomplete. Spell Shop. This is also in progress. I haven't read the Enchanted Greenhouse yet. I have it. I'm super excited about it, but it's still in progress. And I'm not sure if she's stopping at the 2nd one or she's going further. Shadows of the Tenebrous Court, I have not finished. I'm like most of the way through A Touch of Poison, and I keep. My printer's possessed. And I keep like not continuing. So, which was kind of surprising because I loved the 1st book so much, but it just. For some reason, I fell off with that series. Witch Walker. Okay, so this is coming out very shortly, so I'm just going to delete this comment. That's kind of one I'm like meh about. The Scorched Throne. Oh, I really, 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 really want to get to this sooner rather than later. So obviously no longer needs the comment because the second book is out. But at this point, the series should be complete because I believe it's a duology, which is great. Graves Glen, no changes there. Secret Projects, no changes there. Zodiac Academy, no changes there. Honestly, this might be kind of ballsy, but I think I'm going to DNF Zodiac Academy. I know I said when I read it in that vlog all those months ago that I was going to read it, even though like I was going to continue, even though I didn't love the first series. But my sister has had all like purchased all the audiobooks when Audible was doing a sale, and she listened to all of it. And what she has said tells me that the things that bother me about the first book don't change or get worse the further in you get. Like, it's very much a series that's like vibes and no plot, at least based on the first book. And she told me that like we don't even get to Christmas break until like book 3 or 4. And I don't know, you know, that's like only a couple, she's doing months, like a month in a book or whatever for a school year. So I just, honestly, I think I'm going to call this one, and I'm just going to say that I'm going to DNF this series. And I'm so sorry for all of you people who love Zodiac Academy, but it's not for me. It's just not. The Bloodsworn Saga, no more progress on that. Crooked Kingdom, I am currently reading, so that will be done soon. That's exciting. Halflings, no progress. Graceling, no progress. The Edens, no progress. All right. I am still caught up in A Discovery of Witches. I don't know if she's made an announcement about what the 6th book will be titled, so I'm just leaving it for now. And I do realize it's like the All Souls trilogy and then the spin-off, but I'm just doing like A Discovery of Witches universe. Agatar is, as far as I know, there still isn't another book announced. Awakening, that might have a new book. So let's see. Jennifer, I'm in trouble too. Okay. So, kinda nada? Like, this is what I'm getting from this is so far nothing. I mean, other than she's announced book 2. So, we're leaving that. What else? Crescent City, there's been no new announcements about that. See, the SJM series, ACOTAR and Crescent City are in here because like it's not been officially confirmed that they're finished, at least not to my knowledge. But they're kind of, I'm caught up at least. Crowns of Nyaxia, I believe I'm no longer caught up here. Yeah, I'm no longer caught up, which is boo. Another one bites the dust. So that's now an in progress series. Sucks. Legends and Lattes, we did that one already. Moonfall, I think this one is coming out in October. I don't know if that date has changed. Yeah, obviously I entered that in March, so that could have well and truly changed by now. The Bridge Kingdom, I believe there's been no further announcements about book 6 so far. The Empyrean is like on a long-term hold. I don't believe Light Wielder has a date yet. Light Wielder, Rachel Snyder. Okay, yeah, 2026. I could probably was that the release? Hopefully this is not boring for you guys. Sorry if it is. This is kind of like, usually I do this on my own time, but I thought it might be interesting. But if it's not, let me guys know, and let me know and I will never do this again. Drowned Gods. I don't believe there's been an announcement about book 3. Oh, okay. So it's Infinite Shores, and apparently there was a prequel that I was unaware of. Ugh, God, you gotta love it when you find out after the fact that you are not up to date. Okay, Infinite Shores isn't coming out until 2026, so I'm not like wound up about that. I could actually enter the title though, the correct title. In Shores. Sometimes my computer has to think very hard. She's an old girl though, so you know, it's not her fault. She's doing her best. Just like we all are. Okay, so I'm still caught up because I'm really not counting the prequel, at least not for now, as a problem. XOXO, there's been no announcements about book 3, though I'm assuming there's going to be 4 books in that series because it's following a 4-member like K-pop boy group. The Forest of Good and Evil, I have been awaiting forever for an update. I think where are they? So book 2, The Glass Queen, came out in 2020. So it's been 5 years, and there's been no movement, which is kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. I will say, The Force of Good and Evil, I really enjoyed the books. However, they can be very cringy. So it's like you get secondhand cringe very easily. Not for you. I'm sorry, but you know, they can be very YA. Okay, so second book for Blood and Tea is coming out soon, which is exciting. Good Spirits is coming out. Oh no, this is a different book. Is Good Spirits part of Heartstrings or is it separate? I think it's separate. And now Back to You is coming out in 2026, I believe. All right, we're in the DNFs. So I DNF'd A Study in Drowning, which is a duology. I just DNF'd Zodiac Academy. I DNF'd Heart and Mercy. Okay, and now we're in Done, which really nothing a whole lot changed there. So I'm going to change us to reading status, and let me just evaluate really quickly if there's anything else I want to DNF. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. The Spell Shop, The Scorched Stone, Vancouver Storm. Yes. I'm kind of on the fence about Witchwalker. Like, the first book was all right, but like it's been 6 months since I picked it up. And I've had the audiobooks like on hold with Libby, and they've like come through a couple times and I've like delayed delivery. So maybe I'm not interested. Maybe I'll wait until the end of the year, and if I still haven't picked up the next book, I'll just DNF. I will read A Kiss Curse and The Wedding Witch. Sacred Projects, I'm like, I did not love Trust of the Emerald Sea. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should DNF, but I've heard such wonderful things about like Yumi and the Nightmare Painter that I kind of want to hold off. I also want to like read more of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere before I give up on anything in the Cosmere. Halflings, I will read eventually. Graceling, I will read eventually. Isles of Gods, yes. Honestly, when I eventually read Mirror Visitor, I'm probably going to have to start over. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything that I feel I may eventually. I'm like kind of on the fence about Never After because I did not enjoy Hooked, but I feel like that one book is not enough to judge the whole series. And also, I literally own 5 out of 6 books, so I might as well read them if I have them. Honestly, I think I'm going to DNF the Inheritance games. So, in my defense, before hopefully there's no outrage about this, I have read the original trilogy. I own the original trilogy. You can't see them, but they're like right down there. I enjoyed the books, but I'm not like invested enough in the universe to like read what is essentially the spin-offs is what I feel like Well, the Brother Hawthorne's, I think, is, I don't know, Games Untold, I feel like is in the grandest scheme, and like that's kind of a spin-off series. So I think I'm good with the Inheritance cycle, or the, sorry, not the, I think I'm good with the Inheritance games. I think that the original trilogy, it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't feel the need to keep going after those first 3 books though. So we're not done. We're DNFing. Not like I said, it's not a bad DNF. It's just like a maybe this is not for me at this point. I'm kind of on the fence about DNFing Regency fairy tales because Half a Soul is by far the most popular of that trilogy, and it was mid to me. So I might read one more. And then if I don't like that one, not read the third one. So we'll hold off on that, but that's on shaky ground. I'll keep on with the rest of these. Okay, so next, Fire and Metal, Drowned Gods, XOXO, The Numeran Chronicles, Moonfall, which is When the Moon Hatched. That's like that series. If book 2 is no bueno, I'm done because I really enjoyed the world in book 1, and I enjoyed like the first 300 pages or so in book 1, and then we like entered the era of side quests, and I got really fucking pissed. Pardon my language, but like I have very strong feelings about that book. Nobody needs goddamn 700 pages of freaking side quests. So, and I also, it bothered me that she knew that there was more to who she was and more to her history but she was like, I don't want to admit it because then like everything will change. It's like everything's going to change anyway. Like people are starting to figure out that you are here. So like, I don't know. She pissed me off in the latter half of the book. Like first half of the book, loved it. Second half of the book, I wanted to burn it. So if book 2 does not step up, then we are done. The Empyrean I will keep reading. The Awakening. Oh, I will keep reading Discovery of Witches, Bridge Kingdom. Yes. Okay. So our series tracker is officially updated. Final numbers for now: 37 in progress, 15 caught up, 4 DNFs, 43 series not started, and 11 series I'm interested in, and 33 series finished. So not too far off the original numbers. I think I've finished 1 series and chose to DNF 2 more. All right, so that is our series tracker updated. Thank you for being patient. I didn't realize it would take me 20 minutes or however long it took, so hopefully you guys weren't bored. And if it comes down to it, I might like cut it out or fast forward it or something. But I'm glad that's done. It kind of needed to be done. I think the next thing we're going to do is actually refresh my TBR prompt jar. So we won't be going far. I'm going to be sat here still yet again, but I am running low on prompts. And also I do feel that there have been a lot more prompts pushing me out of my comfort zone than I would like. So I don't think it's a bad thing to have prompts in there that force you out of your comfort zone. But to be honest, TBR Takedown is really the series where I try and focus on getting to books that I wouldn't normally read. And so there have definitely been times where I've pulled a prompt for a nonfiction or like something like that, and my heart just kind of sinks. And that's really not what you want. At the end of the day, like reading is meant to be fun. And so I just think that if I'm being honest with myself, we're going to do some weeding out of prompts that I just didn't want to do, didn't enjoy, whatever. And we're going to add some more because obviously we're running a little bit low. So I will meet you back here shortly. So let's talk TBR prompts. So in front of me, I have my TBR jar with unused prompts. And then I also have a file of prompts that have been used since I initially created the jar. So let's go through this unused pile or used pile first and just decide if we're going to keep these. Okay, so a book a friend recommended, I'm going to keep that. A historical fiction, I think I'm going to put that in the maybe pile. An award winner, I feel like that's in the maybe pile too. A book you think you'll rate 5 stars. Okay, that's in the keep pile. What else needs to potentially go? A book that is over 1,000 pages. So I'm going to keep this one. However, I'm going to put this to the side because I currently don't own a book that's over 1,000 pages that is unread. So for now, it kind of just is what it is. It doesn't need to be in the jar for me to end up putting it to the side. So, okay, there's a classic. I'm getting rid of this. We're not doing a prompt with the classic anymore because, to be honest, you really have to be in the mood to read a classic. And I feel like if it ends up on a TBR, it's just going to not get read. A book that scares you. I'm going to keep that in because I feel like that's a healthy thing. A book from your yearly TBR. I'm going to leave that in too. That's a good prompt to have in there. A book by an author you've never read. I feel like that's a good prompt to have in there. A non-fantasy, no romance fiction. I'm going to leave that in there because that's kind of like a fiction, historical fiction, sort of sci-fi sort of situation. Because I only said non-fantasy, so I'm going to leave that in there. I feel like that's pushing the buck a little bit. A book that does not start with the, we're keeping that. I don't know. Some of it should push me outside my comfort zone, but I feel like there have been too many in here where I've been disappointed to pull them. A book that fits the current season. I would keep that. Book with an even number of pages. It's one of the easiest prompts ever. The first book of a duology. I feel like I should have the last. I have a little piece of paper over here. I feel like I should have a prompt that's the last book of a duology. I feel like if I'm going to make myself start things, I should probably also make myself finish things. A book with less than 300 pages. That's kind of a good prompt to have. A book that was gifted to you. That's a good prompt to have. A book from Kindle Unlimited. We're keeping that. Hopefully, if this helps you guys with your TBR jars. The first book of a series. I feel like if I don't have it, I should also have a last book in a series in here somewhere. A book with an odd number of pages. That's the foil to an even number of pages. We should put the last book in a series. I'll cross it off if we come across that prompt, but I don't remember putting it in here. A book with a number in the title. We're keeping that. Oops, almost launched it off the edge. A nonfiction. Okay, that one's gonna go. I have so few of those, and like I said, I was really not fun getting that, so we're skipping it. A book that is over 400 pages, we shall keep. A popular book you haven't read yet, we'll keep. My mom picks, we will keep. A book you know nothing about stays. A mystery / thriller, I think I will keep. Even though I'm not always enthused to get it. I do enjoy a thriller once in a while, so we'll cross our fingers. A book that became a movie or a TV show, we shall keep. I feel like I don't own a bunch, but there are enough that I can keep that prompt for a little while longer. A book you bought only because of the cover will stay. A book in a genre you don't usually read. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. I have a nonfiction, a non-romance fantasy. I feel like there's been just too many of those. So I will keep that one. And in that case, I'm going to boot a historical fiction. And I'm also going to boot an award winner. I do have plenty of award winners. They also tend to fall more in the fiction, sci-fi realm of things. And so there's, like I said, I only want so many prompts that'll force me to read outside of my comfort zone. That's TBR takedown job. A reread I shall keep because I got to reread The Bridge Kingdom this year and I just launched it off my desk. I'll have to go get that later. Book written by a favorite author we shall keep. Actually, I'm gonna go get it now. It's gonna bother me. All right, back to it. We got a book that you're interested in because of BookTube/Book Talk. We shall keep that one. The most recent addition to your TBR. That's a good one. A book with a cover you don't like. We shall keep. Because, don't judge a book by its cover. It could be fabulous, even if the cover is ugly. And then we've got a book with a one-word title. We'll keep. A book that will complete a series you are in the middle of. Okay, so I do have that prompt. The last book in the series. Cross that off. Okay, last one. A Goodreads choice winner. Okay, so to be honest, because I film on my phone, when I get this kind of prompt, it's kind of difficult to I have to go pull up my laptop and that sort of thing to figure it out. So that's going to fall an award winner and go in the bin because it's just too difficult to look it up. I might, put that back in there if I ever get a filming camera. But for now, since I film on my phone, we're going to take that prompt out. Okay. Now we're going through unused prompts. First one, a book published this year. I feel like I should have a book published in 2020, 2021, and 2022 through 2025 just to kind of... a book you've had for more than a year. That is a good chunk, I think, at this point. A book with an animal on the cover. The shortest book on your TBR. I'm going to have a think about this one because, like I said, I have to pull up my library app. And when I'm filming on my phone, that's kind of mission impossible. So honestly, I'm going to actually take that one out. A book from a subscription. We'll keep that. A debut novel we'll keep. It's always good to give new authors a try. A book with mixed media in it. Honestly, this is kind of a prompt that you really have to hunt for. I think I originally put it in with A Good Girl's Guide to Murder in mind, but I've since finished that series. So honestly, I'm going to take this one out. This one's going to go for now because I can't think off the top of my head of another book on my shelves that's mixed media. That's not to say it doesn't exist. But like I said, I don't want my TBR prompts to be stressful. My sister picks, so that will stay in. She's also in a book slump right now, so she and I have done have you read our buddy book? No. Have you read your buddy book? No. So this kind of is. I'm glad to know I'm not alone, but it's unfortunate because usually we don't often line up when we're in a slump, and it's kind of nice because then you get bullied by your sibling into picking up something, and then that kind of reignites reading. So when we're both slumping, it's kind of crappy. A book you've been avoiding, I shall keep that. A book you thrifted, I'll keep. That's actually a good bit of my collection. There was a while there where I had a routine where we have a local thrift shop that has a decent selection of books. And the first day of the week, they are open is Thursday. So I used to go on Thursdays directly after work. And then I took a different position at the hospital and my hours changed ever so slightly. And I found that that half an hour made a difference. And the shelves were raided by the time I got there. So somebody got blessed with my schedule changing. But for a while there, I was getting like really good books. Like this copy of A Natural History of Dragons was thrifted, and like there were quite a, all of these were thrifted. This was thrifted, like I had a good run there for a while. So a good bit of my collection is thrifted. A book with a cartoon cover. So that's really for the romance covers. A memoir. So this was in here specifically to target Educated by Tara Westover, and I've read it. So that prompt is going. And then we have The Longest Book on Your TBR, which, like I said, I think that's going to join the shortest book on my TBR, and currently is going to go bye-bye because, like I said, I just don't think that with my current filming setup, that's like an easily fulfilled prompt. So I'm going to save mixed media, and I'm going to put it with 1,000 words. And I'm going to save longest and shortest because I feel like if my filming setup ever changes, I'll still want those. Because I can just look it up on my library app rather than, trying to figure it out by hand. All right, so those are the used prompts we're keeping. These are the not used prompts, the unused prompts we're not keeping. The prompts that we're binning are a classic, a Goodreads Choice the winner, a nonfiction, and historical fiction, an award winner, and a memoir. Should I keep an award winner? No, because that still requires research, and we're not trying to research. Okay. So, time to potentially consider some new prompts. I was gonna go all the way, and empty the jar before I renewed the prompts / did this. But I really only have 1 month's worth of prompts left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, basically a month because my TBRs are 4 picks. So in order, especially now that I've gone over them, I know what's in there. I feel like that's kind of an unfair advantage. So I'm going to put all the used prompts back in because then we can have a little more variety the next time I use my prompt jar. And then we're going to have to add some prompts since I booted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prompts. And then I removed an additional 4 temporarily. So I need another 6 prompts. So I currently have the last book of duology. I'm going to do a fantasy, a romance. What else? Do I have a prompt that says a book with a cover you love? I don't think I do. I think I have a book with a cover you hate and a book you only bought because of the cover. And a book you think you'll give 5 stars. I don't have a one where I like the cover. So I think I'm going to do a book with a cover. We'll do one where it lets me judge by the cover. What else? I'm looking at my shelves trying to figure out what prompt might net me something off the shelves. I have the first book in a series and the last book in a series and the first book in a duology, and now I will have the last book in a duology. I have a favorite author and a new to me author. Oh, you know what I should do? A book who's from an author who's on their last legs with me. A book from a last chance author. It's a good one. In case, there's a author out there that you're me about. What else? I have the subscription service box one, which is good. I feel like I should just do a special edition. Because I don't get not all my special editions are from a book box company. And sometimes you just want to read pretty books. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prompts. Perfect. Okay, so I will add those 6 prompts to the jar. I may end up adding more, but I just wanted to make sure I was replacing what I took out. Or I guess if I'm replacing what I took out, should I do 4 more? Because I removed the other 4 temporarily. Maybe. I'll sit and think on that. We don't need to sit here and like let me steam about that. So that is my TBR jar kind of sort of refresh. Edit, I guess we can put it. And I don't know if I have anything else for you. This might be the last clip of this video. So on the off chance that it is, thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to stick around for a while, please subscribe. Either way, I very much appreciate you joining me. I hope you have a good one. Bye!